All right, we are live for another episode of the Unclassified podcast, where we declassify life outside the 9 to 5. I am your host, Allie, the grand finale, and today's guest is...
Hi, this is Dr. Otaku with TIKI TECHA, but you can call me Kevin.
Yeah, so as you can see, we are on location today. So we are in your creation den.
Yes.
And you have quite a lot of equipment in here. What all do you got?
Yeah, and it's only like 30% of what I'm going to be putting in here, to be honest with you. But
oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, I have all sorts of instruments. This computer down here is my pride and joy because it's custom built. Had it for a few years now. It's more expensive than like you see my old car out front. Like it costs more than that. It's but it was worth it for me because of all my hobbies and everything. A lot of it's artistic, but I tend to be in like the technological side. But yeah, I have a older DJ DJI board controller, two Innovation keyboards or MIDI boards that only work with the computer, so it plugs directly into an Ableton DAW. That's how I make a lot of the music. And then a few other accessories, and then this little thing. I do want to show this off, actually.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. So this is a Chompy. I don't know if you viewers can see it.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so this thing is amazing. We won't play with it all night or anything, but you can make a whole video just with this because it's a tape recorder. So it tapes whatever you're saying. You can put your DJI microphone here, or you can just go straight in. These wires can go to speakers or directly into your computer. However you want to do it. You can do acoustic or you can go digital. And all these knobs and stuff just like sample, flip, and dip and make some like really trippy stuff. You can make like cool beats. You can make like... what's it called? Psychedelic trance music. You know what I mean? You can do it all anyway. So I like to play around a lot with music. But then I also use this computer like crazy because Ableton is the ultimate cheat code. Because I'm not really that amazing of a player. I mean, I use the DJ tool a lot. Yeah. It's all just like getting ideas and input, and it's almost like writing it down on a notepad. And then with Ableton, you can really just line out notes. You can add all these little cheat codes like sound packs that are from like real cellos, real instruments. So when you put it over there, it all sounds truly acoustic. It doesn't sound digital. Have you ever heard of a Vocaloid?
No.
So they were really big in Japan, like 2010, 2015 era, where they were like these Japanese like robot voices, and they're like really cute, like So these days you can take that same technology, because the way that they worked is that they added notes and they added vowels to each note. So you just map out the vowels, and then you would get these like robotic, high pitched, like cutie voices. But with AI and stuff, literally, yeah, no, a lot of those voices come from Vocaloids.
Yeah.
And they're still used, but they're kind of not as popular anymore, because you've heard of AI dubbing, and like maybe the film industry's been using it.
Oh yeah, it's becoming big fast.
Yeah, so I've been doing that since like for a really long time. So I'm an AI hipster. So I've been doing AI stuff for like because I used to work for Tesla back in 2016.
You were the one proselytizing. It's coming. AI is coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can get into AI if you want, but it's literally what I do for a living on that side of the office. I'm the technologist for a data center, so I'm helping right now implement a bunch of AI stuff without getting too into that.
Now, did you clean up because you know I was coming, or are you just this organized?
This is messy. I don't know what you're talking about. I honestly ran out. I was going to clean for real, but I just ran out of time.
Messy.
I've been working all day. I got off work like 30 minutes
This is
ago.
almost, I could almost pass it with a white glove inspection.
No.
Like, I wish I could be this organized with so much stuff, especially creative stuff, because my brain is just an explosion.
Well, I mean, you should. My files are messy. I'll put it that way. So if you go inside my computer, I'd be blushing a little bit because it's super messy right now, and everything's maxed out.
It's just not in alphabetical order, but everything is properly labeled.
There's folders that are needed. The closet over there is messy because it has all my storage for all the wires and stuff. But I plan on turning this into like a little podcast studio, because I do want to get back into podcasting a little bit, but more like how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Where it's more like 360, where it feels more alive versus the webcam is what I've usually done, right? Feels too much like when I'm working, because I'm on a webcam at work.
And then everyone else feels like a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
With those,
yeah.
I feel.
I don't know. It's just, it could be much better. So I want to get like a little table here, get some cameras, get a little ring light like you have, and get this like a more permanent spot. That's why I kind of left this empty.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the closet into a recording studio.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, because I never finished my thought. So these days with the Vocaloids, you can AI dub over them. So you can get something that sounds like, and then have like your voice like cover it. But it's all in pitch. It's all like really clean.
Ooh.
So AI vocals are taking over right now.
So I could be the next big singer.
Yeah, I've made listen, I'm not a great singer. I'm an alright singer. And mind you, it's not just AI. Like with all the Ableton tools, like these things, all these dials and stuff are all these like plugins. Think, like, you never seen like a pedal on a guitar where they click the pedal and it starts going. Mm-hmm. All this stuff can be applied to like anything. Your voice, of the chomp. Going back to the chompy, you can make like I've made little like click clack noises sound like the most beautiful music you've ever seen in your life. Because
are we able to sample any of that later during the episode?
Yeah, we can do it right now if you want. Okay,
well, before we go into that, because I can tell we will go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of rabbit holes, so you just tell me where you want me to
go. So I wanted to go back to how we met, because we met at the film premiere for City of Second Chances. Yeah, for Joss's, the romance movie.
It's really good.
That was when because I was like, I didn't know David has so many. How many are there?
I have an older brother. He's the oldest. He's a NICU nurse, and also does a bunch of other stuff. Another guy full of rabbit holes. Yeah. But that's his main thing. He travels around a lot doing that. He's in Korea right now, I think. He's a big traveler, so that's a big hobby, passion of his as well. And then we have my youngest sister, and that's it. But we have a bunch of stepbrothers and like cousins and close friends.
All you guys are so freaking talented.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
He doesn't deny it.
No, it's more that like my older brother and David and stuff. Like my whole life, they were just winning awards and
oh my gosh,
like nonstop. I was actually the one who was like the odd one out who didn't really like win anything or like I was kind of like not the black sheep because I wasn't like disliked by my family. I was just kind of like off to the side, like reading manga, like being a little bit more quiet, less out there. But I got more out there as I got older.
Were you the middle child?
I am the middle child.
I hear that's kind of the common thing for the middle child. Yeah, you just feel like you're not like the others.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just like in that emo era, trying to say.
Yeah.
I have a good friend who likes to dress like very emo and stuff, and I was like, hey, you and me were the same 16-year-old girl in high school because I dressed just like you.
But it's because you also are DJing. I know David's DJing.
Well, David's
now.
more the DJ. Yeah. I use this more as like a producer tool. Okay. Like if you put me and David in a DJ battle, he's going to beat me. But I do a lot of composing work too. So besides just like making fun stuff for like like a nightclub or something, me and David did the Curious Incident of the Nighttime together. He directed it. I wrote the music and did the full sound. It was super fun. That's
like a power couple right there. He makes the film. You
That's
get to make the scores for it. Yeah. I'm trying to get my brother to do the same thing, to make the music.
To make the music?
Films. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, if he's not willing, I'll help out. I love doing it. I love doing it.
You guys heard it.
No, I love doing it. I really do. It's not my main. It's like I always tell people, it's only like 10%. Like everyone's really impressed with what I put out, but it's like, if only if I was unemployed, my music would be 10 times better. But no, seriously. But I put a lot of like late hours into doing it, like really late at night and stuff, because that's the only time you can get away with it with like a family and everything. But I care a lot about it, and technology I've always been passionate about because being like a kid who was like blind, not super athletic, like my older brother was like a freaking Greek god, like naturally, just like good at any sport, but me being like the complete opposite, right? Having all these like issues and then seeing how like technology is able to like boost you up and then you're able to apply like different parts of creativity. Seeing that with music, seeing it with, even corporate stuff at work. It's really fun actually to like employ technology. But then in between stuff too, like audio dubbing, I mean, I don't know, a lot of rabbit holes when it comes to like what technology can do for you, and I know there's a lot of stigma around like screen time and we're all addicted to our phones, but to me when I hear all that, it's like it's less about the hardware, it's like it's what we're on. It's like you're on social media all day. That's not good. Like I'm never on social media personally. That's why I didn't get your phone call, because I didn't even have Instagram. I was like, damn it, I really got to set notifications on Instagram. But no, I just never look at it. Like I'm always looking at a screen.
It's like always, it's a tool.
My face is always glued to a screen. I never leave the house, but it's not really things I don't go to bed at night like, oh, what did I do today? I'm like, oh no, I got a lot done today. You know what I'm saying?
Ready for bed. But so you gave me a list of things that you're actually doing, and I was like, wow, I didn't know you did all of this. So you made a mobile game.
Yeah,
video
so that's
game.
That's the most latest news right now. I probably should have led with that.
Well, let's get into it.
So, have you seen it yet? Have you seen any videos or anything? I am doing a bad job marketing it, so this is me marketing. So I'll show it to you. I'll share some clips with you later that you can like post or whatever. But it's very simple. It's not like it's not Call of Duty or anything like that. It's a board game. TIKI TECHA is my company, my LLC that houses all my creative works basically. And it's a board game. And the story behind this board game is actually pretty cool because it's actually not invented by me. It's invented by my wife's grandpa, who's currently living in Maryland.
Grandpa, wow.
Yeah, so he's ex-Air Force. Mm-hmm. And no, something about those Air Force people. They're really smart.
Debatable.
No, seriously. And I have a good friend who's a lot younger than me, but he's in the Air Force or just got out of the Air Force as well. And they're all super smart.
Okay.
But during his, I can't remember if he did it during the Air Force or when he retired, but he came up with a board game that he really got his family addicted to, his East Coast family addicted to in New York City and everything. It involves a simple board. I don't know if they can see it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up to it.
It involves a simple board with...
It looks kind of like Chinese checkers.
Yeah, it's very similar to other board games you might have played, like Trouble, Chinese checkers. There's a game that's popular in the East, in like Pakistan, India, called Ludo or Kudo. I always get them mixed up. Similar, but the thing that makes this game more different is the playing cards. A lot of games like this use like dice or some sort of like randomizer to move the marbles around. This is a set of cards, and all the cards have specific rules. So some cards do really special things, some cards just move the number that you see. So then you play the cards in a specific way to get them out of home, around the board. You can kill each other, you can swap each other, you can play games. All these cards are like little tricksters, and you've got to get all your guys up this line here in the middle on your home, and then you win.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's a slow burn kind of game. You know, it's not meant for like the quick satisfaction. It's kind of like a long-term strategy game. But I first found it when I was like 20 years old. When me and my wife first got married, I went to Maryland to meet him. They showed me this board game. I was like, "What is this?" And I had the idea then to make a video. I was like, "Well, we're not rich because to like distribute a board game, you need to do Kickstarters. You gotta. I have friends who do that, and it's a lot of work, and you have to maybe go into debt." I'm like, I don't want to do all that. But with a video game, it's just like, there's costs that go involved, like server costs and stuff. It's very minimal compared to like buying a factory.
So I don't know if anybody, because I've never made a video game or anything like that. So how intricate is that? Because people talk about making apps and stuff all the time, but like, what does that involve without getting like too into the weeds?
Well, that's pretty funny. So my what I do for work is like explaining this a lot to people and like translating. So the easiest way to explain like video games and apps is just how long do you want the game to be, right? That's how complicated it gets. So if you want a board game that's repeatable actions or something like that, it's not quick, but it's definitely much quicker than if you were going to make Red Dead or Call of Duty, these games that have these really deep playthroughs with all these different phases and levels and all that type of stuff, because you're basically building a game every time you make a new level.
I just imagine there's a lot of math involved.
Yes. Mainly for the like mechanic pieces, like this card moves this, and if this then that. Like there's, it's not math necessarily. It's more like logic. Because when you're doing any code, it's like a logic thing. But there's math involved too. But it's not what you think. These days, especially, maybe back in the day it was harder, but these days there's a ton of free open source engines. Unreal Engine, Unity Engine, Godot. MIT made Godot. It's open source. Anybody can download this for free on their computer right now by just searching, clicking download. You do need to have kind of good computer. That's part of the backstory.
I'm already out of running with that. I need a new one.
It's part of the backstory of why I went so hard on this computer, so that I would be able to run that and music. Any program runs your computer. So, but anyway, making video games was a big goal of mine in 2020 during the pandemic and all that. Because I had the idea when I was like 20 years old. Didn't know junk about coding. Never went to school, by the way. Like I didn't go to college or anything.
Wow, really?
Yeah, no. So I didn't know like.
See, it's not mandatory.
It's not. It's working is mandatory. That's the part no one wants to hear. It's like it's less about school. It's more about like working a lot. Yeah. And that sucks. It does suck.
But you've learned how to move with the times. Because I feel sometimes when you go to school, you get kind of stuck in one way of thinking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did take I took one semester in college. It was like a fake semester. It was like a summer school semester. So I only took like 3 classes. One was history, and it was awesome. But
and it was at Yale.
No, it was at because I wanted to be a history professor deep down, but I talked with a real history professor and realized that it wasn't worth the journey. They basically told me, "Don't have kids. You're going to be broke for most of your life." And I was like, "This sounds horrible." I just like history.
Like very happy people.
Yeah, I mean, David's a teacher, but I always tell people like,
but he's teaching creatively.
Right, but he's also a saint because teachers don't get what they deserve and all that type of stuff. Like, I'm a selfish person. So I always tell people I would love to be a teacher, but I have to be like a good person to like be abused like the way they do. So hats off to all the teachers. I do. I wish I would do it, but no. I need more money and just better lifestyle and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, But where was I going with all that? But no, I mean, so I took a history class, realized, okay, I'm not going to be a history professor. Took a computer science class and went, this is like 20 years behind the current times, and this was like 2015 or something.
I remember getting a computer class in college. I'm like,
yeah. So once I realized what they were teaching was like complete garbage and behind, and I knew how to use the internet and stuff. I knew how to search for information. So I was like, I was just like, I couldn't compute why this was necessary. At the time, I wasn't even working like great jobs. I was making minimum wage, all that type of stuff. But I just like kind of knew that if I just took the time to start going places now, I would get there eventually. So I eventually got to Tesla. That was like a big moment for me. That was like my version of college, basically. And then, yeah, ever since then, it's history. Like, it's not really my focus. It's more like you said, going with the times. Because you may or may not know this, but the data center world is like front page news all of a sudden because of AI and stuff like that. Like, it's so funny. I'm watching all these shows I've watched for years, decades. Now they're talking about my job like all the time. I'm like, since when did you care about my like what I do? Really?
You were the person in the shadows.
But it's because I knew because I wanted to work for this company for a very long time before they hired me. Like I tried for years. It took COVID happening and causing the world to go into chaos for them to be like, okay, yeah, maybe like we'll agree to take this weird guy. But seriously, like, because I knew that this wave was coming because of what I saw at Tesla, because I just saw how technology was working. Everybody was migrating to the cloud. The cloud is not really a cloud; it sits somewhere. It sits in a blah blah blah. So yeah, that's where. And again, it's fun being involved with like AI because believe it or not, you get to be like really creative all day. You don't really do math all day. Like I hang out with people who do math all day.
Yeah.
And I help them with math sometimes, but it's like what you're really doing is you're thinking through, again, going back to that logic thing. Like, how do I logically break something down, explain this to somebody, but then also explain this to not a somebody, a computer,
right? In
a structured, formatted way, but not in the traditional version of like an Excel file, but like in a way that engineers artificial.
Yeah, it works
mind.
on its own. Yeah.
Well. AI. If you really, I don't want to make this the AI podcast, but we're not really in an AI world right now. We call everything AI all of a sudden, but that's just because it's cool to call it that. None of this is actually AI. It's GPT. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
Yeah.
Meaning that it creates new content based on what you feed it. Which is why this might sound counterintuitive, but I tell artists to use AI like crazy. Just don't use AI that's like on a free browser, like, oh, make stuff for free, because that's just stealing. It's just scraping the internet and just giving you random stuff. What you really want to do is take whatever you have, whatever you've made, songs, drawings, anything that you have come up with, even if it's like a book idea, whatever, but like it has to come from you still, right? Then use AI with that, because the AI is not necessarily doing it for you or giving you ideas. It's just generative transforming what you have, right?
I've actually tested that with a book idea, and it really, I felt like Tony Stark when you're there, you know, like moving, because like, no, I don't like how this is here, this needs to move here for the timeline, and like, no.
And then you start coming up with natural ideas, and then now you're having these ideas super fast, and you're like, oh, but I need to get this written out really fast.
Yeah.
Boom, and it's writing it out really fast as you're having these really fast ideas.
Yeah.
And yeah, and again, like it doesn't take away the need for the critical things. You still have to be disciplined. You still have to like want to get you want to still get over the hill.
Yes.
AI or not, like there's a process to things, and we're not really in an AI era. Because when AI really, really exists, like really, really, then you will look at your computer and a book will be there already.
Oh.
That's when AI is real.
Gotcha.
But until then, we're not really in AI. It's just like the buzzword we're calling it. We're in GPT era, which is dope. I love GPT era.
Because a lot of people would actually say, like, don't feed any of your ideas or your art or your songs because they're just going to steal it.
What's going to steal it anyway? Oh. So be in control. It's like your taxes. Your taxes, like taxes is theft. Like you're being robbed. But you can vote. You can protest. You can say and push and collect with others how you want to be stolen from, right? That's how AI training is. Because again, if you've been, ever since the MySpace era, if you've been uploading selfies or anything like that, like, I'm sorry, guys, we've all been robbed already.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've been training AI since I was still in high school. Like, this has been going on for a very long time.
I already told people, like, I was a part of the military. They have everything. They have my fingerprints. They have everything. I was like, what does it matter? Yeah,
no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're already screwed. A. B, being, like, just take advantage and do it yourself. Because again, like what you think you already know about yourself, whatever, like you just apply yourself over and over. Like do a million reps of one idea. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy what happens, right? And then again, if you've had something you've been working on for a long time and you get stuck somewhere, it comes in clutch there as well too. Maybe it helps you come over like a hump that you couldn't figure out before.
Like writer's block or something.
Writer's block, or even if it's like a technical issue. Like, man,
code even.
I had this amazing novel that I had half finished on my hard drive, and if only I could figure out how to fix this hard drive. And AI, like literally, you can turn on your camera on your phone, and it'll see your hard drive and be like, okay, touch the right side. Like, you know how many times I've used AI to fix my car? That's yeah, because I turned on the camera. I'm like, hey, the blinker's not blinking. It's like, okay, open the panel. That's right here.
Which AI do you use for that?
ChatGPT.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge Sam Altman fanboy.
Okay.
There's a lot of AI out there, but just take it from me, I've been part of all the beta stuff. Like before it was good. Like AI used to be so trash. It used to take hours to generate like 2 sentences. You used to have to run it on your thing. It would blow up your computer. It was rough, but it was fun. It was like, this is so cool, because I was getting these silly things from it. I was like, and just imagining like what's going to happen, right? I did the beta for Google's. I did the beta for everybody else's too. They were nothing like OpenAI's betas. And then just seeing how we are now in 2025, how far ahead they are of everybody, it's like Google. First of all, Google owns the internet. So if you search who's the best AI, it's going to say Google. If you go on social media and ask people what the best AI is, whatever social media app you're on is going to say their AI is better. It's going to say Grok, or it's going to say Meta.
They're biased.
OpenAI doesn't advertise anywhere. They had like one Super Bowl commercial. Like, they just know they're the best, right?
Yeah.
And again, Tesla was like that too. When I was working at Tesla, they never advertised because they knew they were better than everybody, so they didn't try. The people who advertise the hardest are like the worst product, typically.
I've heard that. Let's see if anyone has any comments, because we've been going over some pretty cool topics. No, it's good. I wanted to see if anyone had any comments. Let's see. Sean said, "Whoop, go Allie, thank you. Thanks for tapping in, checking it out." So yeah, we were talking about your video game, your mobile video game, and then you also said you came out with an album or an EP, and the album's coming. Yeah.
So do you mind if I talk about politics, or do you not want that?
No, you can.
All right. So the latest. So I told you about what me and David did, and that actually had really good success because people started making TikTok sounds because when I distribute, it goes everywhere automatically. So I went to TikTok, and people started making sounds with some of the songs, and they got the album like a bunch of streams, like not like millions, but like for me, I was like, I'm viral, Mom, I'm famous. But it was cool. And then after that, when I've been releasing music, it's been getting a lot more traction on like Spotify and stuff. When normally it would get like the only traction I got was like YouTube videos.
Right.
But not so much Spotify. But that's changed recently, so that was cool. And so I've been working on one album for years that's still not done. You know how it is.
Yes.
But the election thing happened in January and everything, which, you know, I've been kind of staying out of politics ever since I became a dad. But the attack on immigration by Elon and Trump specifically, you know, everyone's like, oh, you can't just say Nazi all the time. It's like, bro, read a history book. This is Nazi stuff. Like, seriously. And especially coming from Elon, my former boss, who, like, I did respect quite a bit, to be honest with you. But, like, at that moment, I was like, I lost all respect because everybody I worked with at Tesla was an immigrant. All my bosses, like CEOs and stuff, were, like, from Pakistan or India. And plenty of the people installing solar roofs were Mexican, and the car factories were Mexican. And it's like...
his whole backbone.
All the stuff... But it's not just, like... It's one thing to be like, oh, I voted for Trump, and you're quiet. But no, like... being vocal about like, oh, this is good, and yada, like I was like, this guy is completely insane. So I came together with a quick album with some of my old Tesla friends. We like they helped me write lyrics and stuff.
Okay.
But it's like a 4-song EP, kind of like a Kendrick Lamar diss track against Drake, but this time against Elon Musk and Donald Trump and stuff. But one of the songs called "You Are American," which is more of a song about like, hey, just because you don't look American or whatever, like you're American.
Yeah, and what does "look American" mean?
That's the point of the song. It's just kind of like a catchy little song. That song ended up getting some traction on Spotify as well too. So I was like, play that shit. But yeah, that came out last month. I have more of a drum and bass EDM album coming out this week on Friday.
Gotcha.
Called Otaku. Dr. Otaku is like my rapper name. So I have the online name that I use, which I never intended to be like so publicly facing.
And for those that don't understand, otaku is basically the homebody, like the person who never leaves their house in Japanese, right?
Yeah, so there's the hikikomori and the otaku, which are like similar words. So the hikikomori is someone who never ever leaves the house. They don't have a job. They just like shut in, play video games all day. Otaku is someone who's incredibly obsessive over something. They get too into it, and people make fun of them.
Okay, yeah,
and it's
those
kind
are
of
like the mega nerds, kind of.
Yeah, it's like one step above a slur in Japanese to call someone that. But I've always enjoyed taking negative words and like trying to like own it and stuff. So I was like, not only my own otaku, Dr.
Otaku. I got a degree in this shit.
Seriously, because if you want to talk anime, I can go on all night about Gundam or whatever, and I can tell you the history, the artists, all this, like, too much stuff, too much information. Everybody calls me an AI because I just start, like, spouting off too much stuff. They're like, are you just looking this up right now? It's like, nope, it's just envy.
So what anime are you watching right now?
So I've actually been a bad otaku because I haven't been watching anything. I haven't watched movies, TV shows, anime. Like, it's just
been a busy guy.
Working.
Yeah.
But the little anime I've seen that a little bit of that anime that's taken over recently, the alchemy one. Blanking on the name. But, I'm always watching Gundam and little shows with I'm showing my 2-year-old, like, all the classics, like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And
I really like Apothecary Diaries.
that's what I was trying to remember. Apothecary Diaries. My wife's been super into it, and I've watched a little bit with her. Just been too busy to marathon. But it's good. Yeah. I'm glad that there's, like, a new shoujo taking back over.
Mm-hmm. And I like that to me, she seems, like, autistic coded.
Did you say Conan?
Coded.
Oh, well, have you ever watched the old anime called Conan? It's like a little detective guy.
No, I don't think I have.
She reminds me of Conan, but like a more I called her the Gen Z Conan because he's like a Gen X version.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Apothecary Diaries, definitely check it out. Even if you're really not into anime, it's on Netflix,
Yeah, no, it's one of those animes that's crossing the line, so everybody's loving it right now. New season's about to drop.
Well, I'm already in the second season. You talking about a third season?
Oh, I was talking about the second. I guess it's already dropped.
On Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I love reading manga more than watching anime. I don't know about you, but
I haven't really gotten into manga only because that would take more money for me to purchase and to sit and read. But I used to be an avid reader when I was.
Well, the library is loaded, so I got a library nonstop. The library is the only thing I don't mind paying taxes over. Like, I wish
that is something I'm starting to get back into, is actually checking out the library.
Libraries are great, and especially with kids, they're amazing, especially in the heat and stuff. But my whole life, ever since I was like really little, through all my rebellious teen stages, I was still going to the library getting books and stuff.
I'm a rebellious person. I'm going to the library.
Pretty much.
I'll show you when I read.
And I would get hella manga and other books too, history books and stuff like that. But
my library wasn't that cool. We didn't have manga.
That's all.
I was backwoods, North Carolina.
Oh, man.
There was no manga.
Yeah, and I guess I looked at being in Vegas during that time. Because, if I was still in Texas or something, I don't know if that would have been the case.
No, and some of the books that I even wanted to read, like, they'd have to order, and it would take weeks to get there. Like, it was small.
The young people don't understand how good they have it. It's the golden age of anime right now. The golden age of everything. You can watch K-pop whenever you want. Like, I used to have to try, when I was like 12, I was obsessed with K-pop before it was cool.
Really?
Yeah, before it was cool.
You had K-pop back, wow.
Super Junior era. That was my era.
Okay.
But I'd have to go out of my way to watch these grainy videos. And I would just...
Instead of adult videos that you could barely distinguish with the grain, you were doing K-pop.
Literally. All night, all day. I would just listen to those videos nonstop. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was dressing like them and stuff, and no one understood, right? So everyone was very confused by me. They're like,
You're way ahead of your time.
Yeah, that's what... See, thank you for acknowledging it. I've been trying to tell people, I'm like, all this is because I did it. And they were like, that was pretty cool. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. I was part of that era. My friend of mine, Mike, who's older than me, tells me about an era where he used to have to get Japanese VHSs, mail them somewhere so someone could put English subtitles on the VHS and then mail it back. That was like a whole service that really, like, that's, otaku life.
Wow. See, oh gosh, I feel so podunk how I grew up, because it's like I never would have thought of those things, like, because I was like the only one of my kind in the small town. Like, there was only about 6,000 people, so there was only one family that supplied all the Asians in town, one family that supplied all the blacks in town, and then there was me. There weren't even any Hispanic people yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there wasn't a lot of diversity. I do remember Sailor Moon. That was like the thing.
That was big.
Had a crush on Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, that one broke through. There's a few anime that broke through the
Dragon
veil.
Ball Z.
Dragon Ball was a big one. Yeah, I mean, that's what first exposed me as like a little kid was Dragon Ball, Gundam.
Yeah, we didn't have Gundam, so I didn't really get to that until college, and that's when I was exposed to Gundam.
Damn, that's a college.
I know.
Brings a tear to my eye. No, but yeah, we're living in those small towns is a. I can't relate. I lived in when I was first born. We were in like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, so super crowded. Then I went to Texas, San Antonio area, super crowded.
I had to go use my imagination out in the woods.
That's crazy. Well, so what about you then? Besides like the book writing things, like what other things have you tried to use AI for? Because one of the things I wanted to mention is that the video game I made, I started in 2020. I didn't finish it until like now.
Okay.
And I didn't even use AI to like help me finish it. Like I was working with like a team of people. Still working with them because we're still doing updates and all that type of stuff. But like with you, is there anything that's like an old project that you maybe started during COVID? Like a lot of people started projects that you wanted to revisit and maybe apply AI to it to speed it up, or anything from like your childhood days in North Carolina?
I guess I really haven't explored AI to its depth. I tapped into like the book writing, and then I tested a little bit with like a relationship just to see what it would do. I'm not the kind of person that was like, I didn't propose to the AI or anything. I found a lot of flaws in it. So it's like, I'm not too worried about there being...
Well, how long ago was that?
That was within this past year.
Okay, it's changed a lot since then.
It probably has, but...
No, so every month there's a new model that comes out.
But
right?
ChatGPT was a bit of a fuckboy when I was talking to it, so... I'm not interested.
Well, there's multiple. See, ChatGPT has multiple personalities. That's what people don't notice. Is like when you're doing your settings, you can choose like what models you're interacting with. It's very configurable. So like the version I interact with is not the version other people interact with, most likely. I do the $200 a month version of ChatGPT.
See, I was doing just free, so it ran out of memory for me. And
yeah, I noticed the free's a little. Let me know if I'm getting too nerdy, but. No. AI runs off something called tokens, which is just like megabytes or like cell phone minutes, right?
Yeah.
So when you're on the free version, you're getting like very trickle minutes.
Yes.
So if you're trying to do a big thing and you only have 5 minutes of credits, basically like an arcade machine, it's going to like really try to drip feed you content output because every word is a token. So like night is 1 token, nightly's 2 tokens, nightly outside on the beach, like... It's a lot of tokens right there. And if you only get 100 tokens for free, it's like you're going to use them up in 2 seconds. The $20 version, you get more access, but it's not like unlimited.
Okay.
And then the $200 version comes with other softwares that... What the hell's going on out there?
I don't know. We have aliens landing.
Yeah, sorry, we're being invaded. The $200 a month version comes with other tools, which is they're called agents or operators. So those are like more like bots where they can do things for you. Like they're doing things on my computer right now while we're talking. But you only get access to that with like the expensive version because it's really expensive from a data center perspective to process that. It like makes a lot of heat, a lot of energy, computing power. So the tokens are blah 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 blah. Techie garbage. Yeah. Long story short. When you're on free versions of AI, you're only seeing just like an edge of like what it can really do. Yeah. It's worth paying for. Maybe not $200. Like I only recommend that to people who are like going ham and like never leave their desk like I do all day. The $20 a month version though is like standard. Like I feel like everybody should have it.
Okay. And you feel like that one's the best one to use?
Yeah, like I said, I've used Bar or Gemini now. They change the name like every 3 months because they're embarrassed by how bad it is, so they have to like rebrand every quarter.
It's brand new, guys.
Well, yeah, it used to be called Llama or Laura or something like that, and then like it became sentient, and there was that whole. This is super long ago. Probably no one remembers, but it became sentient, and the guy was reporting it was a bunch of BS. Then they made
all
Bard.
this lure, though.
Yeah, then they made Bard, and I did the betas for Bard, and I was super unimpressed, and it released, and no one cared. And then the Super Bowl's coming up. They're like, it's Gemini now. We got to relaunch. It's the same thing. So I just don't trust Google. I'm a big Google fanboy. I have a Google phone, Google cameras everywhere. Like, they just missed the boat on AI. It happens. It happens to people who are too big. They lose sight of like real innovation. OpenAI just crushed people. Meta, same thing. They were focused on metaverse shit.
Yeah.
While AI was the future. They just didn't see it. That's all. It's like no different than what Facebook was to MySpace or what Netflix was to like OpenAI is just that disruptor that's like eating everybody's lunch and
It's coming through the hallways like nerd.
pretty much. It's so funny. It's so funny. Every time someone comes up with like a new model, they're like, "Oh, we're just as good as them." They like OpenAI is like, "Hold my beer," and then like the next day they release an update and it's like 3 times better than what it is. It's like. It's insane. There's other AI models that not everybody knows about. There's like Claude, that's pretty good at writing too. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know AI is kind of like emotional. Like I said, it's less mathematical and scientific than you would think. Like, it's a lot about creativity and preference, and it's more human than you would give it credit for. Not it itself, but the process. The process of discovering and like working and everything. Because again, it's just like you're talking to yourself all day.
Yes.
You're not really talking to an AI because it's not AI. It's not artificial generative intelligence. It's not generating fresh intelligence based on nothing like we do.
Yeah.
It's generating based on pre-trained model. And if you're the only pre-trainer that's like right there in front of it, you're having a really interesting mirror conversation.
Yeah.
Have you had a shower thought?
Yes.
Like a shower thought that talks back. That's how I treat AI, basically. It's like, it's my shower thoughts that talk back to me.
That's the way I looked at it, because I had the very in-depth, like philosophical conversations about existence. And
I don't do that with AI, to be honest with you. It's more like problem-solving stuff. Like I have maybe a really existential idea, and I'm like, okay, I want to plan out how I'm going to like teach this to somebody.
Yeah. I did use it for school a few times.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who's not using it for school?
God, if you're not, man, it helps
If you're not
so
using it
much
for
time.
school, you're essentially shooting yourself in the leg for getting a job.
Because, well, it was crazy because it felt like the amount of work that they're asking for, like it required AI.
Well,
I'm like,
in the real world,
yeah.
the amount of work they request from us is more than what's technically possible. So we need AI. Like AI is our only hope to survive this modern capitalist empire that we put ourselves in, where speed and efficiency and all that stuff is the must. Tesla, again, broke me back then. Like they taught, like they burned this into my brain. Like every penny, every second, like matters. And so that's why AI was always interesting to me, because I was like, oh, that saves a lot of seconds.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve the world, but it's going to save seconds, and that's really important. But yeah, no, just like keeping your job in the modern world, getting a job in the modern world. Everybody I've ever participated in an interview with, I'm asking them AI questions, and they have to have good answers. If they don't have good answers, it literally may or may not disqualify them from a job. It's like, that's how serious it is right now. And these people already have degrees or been working, whatever, but it's just like the world's flipped.
Yeah.
So if you're in college right now, or high school or middle school, and you're not trying to figure out how to use AI in your workflow because you want to do it the right way, like you're just not going to get employed. Like that's unfortunately the truth, because go on LinkedIn right now. Everybody wants to see that you have some sort of experience, understanding. You don't need to be spoon-fed. I'm talking corporate world. Maybe not like every job function.
Not every filmmaker.
But, like in the tech space, social media companies.
Yeah.
Any company that has an app, I'll put it that way. So if you work for DraftKings, like you need to start using this stuff. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, I want to make sure we cover all of the cool stuff that you have coming out, because I feel like we could go off on so many tangents.
So game is out, updates coming. It's free to play, iOS, Android, anybody can play it. So just download it, check it out. It's called Golden Hot Marble Race. Probably should have mentioned that. But if you just look up TIKI TECHA, you'll find my YouTube channel. I have a lot of links everywhere. So if you really
I'll tag it.
If you're really interested, you can find me pretty easily, honestly.
Do you make music for your games?
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard the little
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
We made that too. Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say I see it going hand in hand.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, when you want to make a game, going back to your original question, like, oh, how do you make a game? Like, you kind of have to know how to do everything. You have to know a little bit of graphic design. You have to know a little bit of coding. You have to know a little bit of math. You have to know a little bit about music and color theory and like way more than you would. That's why video game companies have like thousands of people in their credits, because it's like one specialist for everything. So being an indie game company where you do it all, just like being an indie musician or an indie anything.
You're wearing
indie
all
filmmaker,
the hats.
Indie lemonade stand, you know what I mean? Like you're doing it all, man. It does all tie together. I already mentioned the other album coming out. I've also been playing at the Audio Bar recently.
Yeah.
Which
I
has
love
been
the
fun.
Audio Bar. Shout out to Audio Bar.
Shout out to
They're
Audio
awesome.
Bar. It's been really unexpected turn of events. I always swore I would never be like a live performer because of the way I do music, where it's not like very skilled playing. It's like using these toys to like come up with arrangements and then literally line them up like this. I never thought I'd be like doing live stuff, but my friend donated this to me, and so I started playing with like DJ equipment and stuff, and then they started doing the producer night, and I was like, oh, I'm technically a producer. All you have to do is just plug in your song and just stand there. So I was like, I can do that. But now it's like starting to get out of hand and stuff. And there's some other things, but I won't get into it here. But
how are you liking it, DJing? Live performances, I should say.
Yeah, I like being able to talk to people about my process of music, because a lot of artists are so afraid of AI. And it's like, hey, I can have a singer on any track I want. It can even be me.
Yeah.
And like you run it like a Vocaloid. You can have your own instrumental. You can have nothing. You can type lyrics. You can sing at it, whatever. Have it dubbed. Like there's, it's not just one way. It's not like, oh, you type something then it's done. Like no, that's one of a million ways you can use AI in your workflow to come up with something unique, or just something you like. Fuck unique, like just something you're happy with, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I just started doing. I started doing this like 2 years ago. Well, I've been doing it for a little bit longer, but I've been publicly releasing it for like 2 years now. And yeah, the feedback's been cool. Been making a lot of friends. One thing I haven't talked about is that on YouTube, we recently hit 20,000 subscribers.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, it's not super crazy for YouTube, but it's cool.
I mean, I just finally went public on something, so I think I have like 2 subscribers, so congratulations.
On YouTube?
Yeah, I haven't really put any of this on there yet.
Oh, okay. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, geez.
You're saying 20,000?
Oh, so one of the other things I'm known for doing is using AI visuals. So there's something called Stable Diffusion, which is like, like a flip book where you flip the paper.
And all the pictures,
So you can do that with AI, where you see the flickering. It's like very like, but it's a like flip book animation style. And then now they've added like 3D, so it's more like video gaming and stuff. But I've been using AI visuals for like a few years now. Became friends with the creator of it, Nikolai from Germany. So everybody should check out Neuroframes.
Yes.
Because it's kind of what like got me out of the closet. Because I was making music for like a long time, and never even showed my wife, showed nobody. Because I had a good friend who made music, and I was like too self-conscious to show it, because he was really good. So I was like, my shit's not good. So I was just too self-conscious to like show anybody anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just keep this to myself. But then after my first son was born, I had some downtime, started getting back into it. Didn't even get into the AI wormhole yet. I was just like doing music stuff. Made like a classical like 8-minute song, like full orchestra with music, like with the MIDI lineups, like everything. I did the whole thing. I didn't even do it with the piano. I did it with like lining every note and like adding sound. It was crazy. It took forever.
Jeez.
And I was like, holy crap, this is really good. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like surprise my wife. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make this whole thing. Led a huge rabbit hole. And then I ended up becoming like a YouTuber by accident.
With 20,000 subscribers now, by accident.
Because I like started making like a video like a week basically for I did like a whole year straight of like one video a week, just like making stuff out. And sometimes it wasn't even my song. Like I would like have a friend who made songs, be like, hey, can I use one of your songs? Like I didn't have enough songs, so I was just like asking people to like use their music, and was like making fan videos of I met this one artist online called the Lunius Tune. She was really cool. She's like, yeah, sure, do whatever. Made like a bunch of music videos for her because I was like, love your music. Some friends here in town, Grim Lucius. I did one video of one of his songs. Shaky Razor, who's another indie artist here in town, did one of his songs as well. A few other people. But then I started getting faster at making music because I started exploring AI tools more, actually getting equipment, because that really speeds things up when you can play. All that type of stuff.
Nice. I want to see if anyone has any questions or comments, because we've been going ham. And then, did you have a song or anything you wanted to play before we wrap up? Because I feel like we could go on, but
I'm not going to play a song.
Okay.
Because y'all can look it up if you want to. But I want to show you the chompy, because I think you're just going to have fun. It'll make your trip worth it. So hold on, let me plug you up.
Power on. Bluetooth.
Here, so put this in your lap.
okay. Ooh, I get to play with it?
Yeah, you're gonna do it. No, this is the beauty of these type of things. You don't have to be a trained UNLV professor of music. Sorry, wrong side. There it is. To use this stuff. Now, mind you, of course, if you know music theory and stuff, you can.
I do not.
But you don't need to. You never needed to. You only need to know music theory if you're like working somewhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're like, hey, do this. And you have to know exactly what to do. But if you're just sitting by yourself, music theory means nothing. Life is an illusion. Okay, so let me make sure this is working. And I'm going to go grab something to show you the recording aspect. No, it's not working.
Is there like an on switch?
It just might be dead, honestly.
Does it
Which
have
would be a shame.
Is it battery up or like?
It does have a internal battery. I thought it was full. Please hold.
Okay. Well, we can.
No. We're doing this.
Okay. Well, I was saying like if you.
There you go. So it's working.
Okay.
Your sound is coming out of here. I'm going to boost you a little bit.
Boost me.
So go ahead and plink for a few seconds, and I'll be right back.
Sounds nice. I feel like I'm making music for the Dark Crystal, Jim Henson film.
So the mode you have it in right now is like a piano mode. And when you hold this button, you get like more settings. So if you so this is the setting you're on currently because it's dark. If you click here and then let go, it's a new sound now. Right? So I get these sounds from like the people who make this give sounds out. You can put your own sound files on. Like let's say if a PlayStation 2 sound you like, you can just upload it and then whatever sound you put, it chromatically scales. So it'll go like a keyboard off one note that records. So what we can do is we can actually switch this to recorder mode.
Okay.
So you can record your voice, you can record anything. So this thing here is a Blipbox, if anyone's interested.
It sounds like an alien dashboard.
It's for kids, but it's $200 because it's a real instrument, it's a real synthesizer. It's just designed in a way, just like this, where it's like easy. And I've been teaching my sons how to like, again, just like coding, it's all about like logic gates.
This is play school of the future.
Yes. So it's a random sequencer, right? So you can put anything you want.
Yeah.
So we're going to make something crazy, whatever?
Yeah. That is so cool. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
I'll turn it up in a second. So, if you press, the microphone's over here, so if you press this. Alright, that's all we need. So now if we flip it back down, and you start playing.
Oh, it's from the sounds from that?
Exactly. And then you can take that sample that you just got, and you can play with all this stuff. You can speed it up. You can add effects to it. You can loop this. So now it's looping on its own, right? Then you can go back to your piano mode.
Yeah.
It's in here. And then you can start jamming out. And then you can sample what you're playing. Okay. So now it's layering on top, layering on top. Then you can add, how do I do this again? Thinking, there we go. So you can start adding, you can slow it down, you can reverse it.
What?
And now you're in like trippy dippy land.
Yeah.
And then
change to something else. I feel like now I'm in Area 15.
Now you're going to space. You're doing whatever, right?
Yes.
And this is not even AI. This is old school, right? So like combine this.
Come fly with me. We're going to space.
Yeah, well, imagine you're a sound designer and you have to make a soundtrack for some sort of spacey thing, right? First thing I'm going to do is whip this baby out and start jamming.
Yeah.
And then save, maybe spend an hour, save 5 minutes of that hour. You're going to have something really solid. You put it into an editor, just like when you're editing on a timeline for a video. Mm-hmm. Music has a very similar thing. Oh, nice. You're already natural. And then if you ever want your sample to stop playing, you just hit the... Oh.
Ah. Ooh.
Yeah. I love sitting with this thing. That's probably why I was dead, because I just sit like on the floor or in the bed, just like...
Yeah.
Going. And then you can plug it into the computer too, and you can have it all coming through your systems, recordings, which is why I'm going to set up a microphone studio in there so people... Because I love AI, but, humans are still cool.
Yeah.
So having real humans doing recordings and then having someone do an AI duet. They're singing in there and then they have the computer singing back at them and they're trading bars. Or rap duet.
Rap battle with the AI?
I've done rappy stuff because of like AI, and it's again, music is a blessing, but like mainly a curse because it's so infinite.
Yeah.
That you can get stuck doing nothing else with your life.
This is pretty cool.
So yeah, I love this thing. I've had this for a few years now. I got it when it was still like in the Kickstarter phase. Shout out Chompy if anybody. It's
I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, there's so many music gear out there. It's hard to get. Because again, they're like an indie company too, so it's hard to be overlooked as an indie fella, right? In this big old ocean of monopolies, but yeah, I love showing people this thing. This is the best like visual understanding of my musical process because it's basically what I do in all with these keyboards, with Ableton here, with some other, because I have like field recorders in my backpack that I can produce new sounds and then take those sounds, put it on the Chompy.
Wow.
It's like an endless
flow,
recycling ecosystem, infinite loop. So yeah, it really
That's
does.
cool.
So anyway, if you need music for a movie, let me know.
Heck yeah, man. Dude, that is badass. Being ADHD is like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, no, I love it. And then this thing too, it starts blinking and going crazy at you. You're like, oh my god. This really is as simple as for like a toddler, though. I mean, you can just click buttons, get new sequences, play with dials.
That's my level.
But again, it does connect to a computer MIDI out, so you can take all that MIDI data and like start making. You can go to Coachella with this thing if you really wanted to.
Easily.
I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really wanted to.
People are on enough drugs, it wouldn't make a difference. They'd be like, you're the best, man. No, but thank you so much for showing me all of this and like letting me into your world a little bit. Like this has been an amazing, I definitely feel like Alice in Wonderland, just fell down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, play with AI, guys. Because again, everybody I know who's a big AI person, they use it completely differently than I do, which is the most amazing part of it all. So you would think everybody would do the same exact thing with it. It's like, no, dude, we're so...
It's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're only going to want to sit down and dedicate time to certain things. So you're going to use AI in a way that I probably never would.
Yeah.
And vice versa,
I use it to have the conversations I know I'd wear other people out with.
Well, go on Pro mode, get that $20 version, put it on the so there's 4.5, which is like exceptional at writing.
Okay.
But then there's also the 401, which is heavy reasoning. So like complex tasks, but also complex questions about the universe, maybe.
Okay.
Sorry, last AI thing. You really need to know about this because people are not talking about it enough.
Okay.
There's a new mode in most AIs. ChatGPT has it, but even Google has it and stuff too. It's a setting you have to like click on.
Okay.
So look for it.
Okay.
But it's called deep research mode.
Okay, yep.
And when you run a prompt with that, it'll take like 30 minutes to get a response because it's churning like the entire internet.
I've seen something similar to that with Gemini.
I know, yes, I know.
Okay.
Yes. They copy AI. Anytime OpenAI does anything, they're like, we got it too. But it's
because I put in a prompt of like, hey, I want a trip to Japan. I want to do these certain things, and this is my budget. Can you give me the best options?
So I wouldn't do... So deep research is like, don't do anything. Okay. Just give me data. That's deep research mode. Like I want to sit down and read for the next hour. Gotcha. Give it to me. That's deep research. The 01, the heavy reasoning is like, hey, I have $100 and I need to figure out how to do this. Then you want a logical reasoning based model because it doesn't need to do research because the internet already knows everything about Japan. So it's going to be like, okay, this place costs this much, whatever. And it's going to be doing math for you. That's what you really want. Go to deep research mode and say, hey, this is my name. This is my last name. This is the date I was born. This is my father and this is my mother. This is their father. This is their mother. This is the story of where they came from on both sides of my family. Like as much information as you can give it, tell it all the myths, lore, and everything surrounding your life, and especially focusing on like your surname, and then have a deep research and get back to you. And it's gonna you're gonna be stuck. I'm still going through it when I did it for
All right.
It's gonna give you a lot. It's gonna be fun. That's how you use deep research. For like, if you really want to go down rabbit holes, like use deep research mode, because it's not going to do anything for you. It's just going to waste your time, because you're going to have so much shit that you're going to want to do now after you read through all that.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
You've convinced me.
More productive than more productive than scrolling, and that's it. Like, it's not about like screen time's great, guys. Just use it. Use it responsibly.
Use it as a tool. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to say that is our episode for tonight. It has been amazing chatting with you, for sure. No. That has been great. Like I'm saying, I could sit here and chat all night. But thank you all for tuning in and being with us on this journey into our rabbit holes tonight. So that is our episode of the Unclassified podcast, where we declassify life outside the 9 to 5. I am your host, Allie, the grand finale, and tonight's guest was...
Dr. Otaku. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah. Have a good night.